Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today guys, I'm in my new recording studio. As you can tell, I'm here with the ES300 and today guys I'm going to be going through the cost breakdown of this car and what, it being a lemon has cost me throughout, the past year. Can't wait to keep doing some more, but right now I'm just living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not sure if I'm living. So I'm going to start from the very beginning when I first bought this car. I bought this car for $800, as you guys know. And so at the end of the video, I'm going to tally this all up. Honestly, I've done it before, but I'm not sure if I've forgotten things, because literally it's been that much time and that many things. But we're going to start out with the $800 I spent on the car itself. And so I bought it and found out it needed a rebuild, as you guys know. So I started the first rebuild. What I didn't know was that the people who started this rebuild, they were an auto shop that was closing recently. So they said screw it. They destroyed basically everything on my car. They, broke sensors, sealed gaskets with silicone, and yeah, much more. So I didn't end up paying for that rebuild, because that rebuild was like, it was so bad, and it was making my car have all these issues. I'm surprised this car lasted while I was driving it with all that stuff going on. It would have gotten a lot worse, and I'm so glad I took it somewhere. But before any of that happened, obviously I continued with the rebuild, because as you guys know, it blew up again because of their crappy work. And so on that rebuild, we spent $1,500, I believe. And then along with that $1,500 to just rebuild the motor, we also installed a brand new cooling system, so that the car would have a cooling system, because I thought that was pretty essential. And along with the cooling system, they also did maintenance like brake pads, fuel pump, although I'm still very confused, because I found a used fuel pump in the trunk, and then when I took it to the next guy who worked on it just recently, he said that the fuel pump was bad and wasn't running fully. So, beats me. Along with, more and more of that, all of that added up to $1,200. So far we have $800 for the car, $1,500 for the rebuild, $1,200 for all those cooling system parts, ECU included, because I had to get the crappy ECU out of here. And then, after that, that whole ECU fiasco, if you guys don't recall, that's why the car has been taking so long. The second rebuild and the ECU issue that we just could not overcome. That took about 6 months, because nobody knew how to really fit the ECU and program it. I don't know. It was just a bunch of BS with a bunch of shady mechanics and shops. But after that, we went ahead and got the car home, and I had to do some more things. The first thing I took care of was the key, because we had to get a new key. Old one was broken. And so, I'm trying to recall events now. That's when we finally realized that this car was solely running, off of just some components, and there was a lot of screwed up stuff. And so we took it to a mechanic that I trusted a lot more than previous mechanics, and this guy ended up finding out a lot about the car right away, including why the cluster wasn't working, why it was running wrong, and a lot of other things, especially the coolant leaks and all that. So out of all the work he did, new fuel pump, complete AC redo, because we had to get the AC all good. So necessary, because this is Texas. And after that, I ended up having to pay $1,250. So this was the point where I split that with my parents, and so I spent $625 on all of that stuff. After that, the car was doing fine, but it still had some things that prevented me from taking it home. First of all, the alternator was bad, or I should say the battery was draining because the alternator was bad, and so we ended up getting that tested. It was the alternator. Of course, that alternator was under a lot of pressure when they kept trying to start it, and all the different owners. If you think about it, it definitely would have been bad, logically. And so we replaced that, which was $300. But all in all, along with the fuel filter, which was literally making the car not start because of how bad it was ridiculous. The old fuel filter was like stock on this car. Man, it's crazy. And we also got some hood struts to keep the hood popped. And so that was about $400. Now, for that is kind of it for now. I guess I can go ahead and include the sensor that I have to replace. There is an air-fuel ratio sensor, aka O2 sensor, bad right up here in the exhaust manifold. So that's going to be $200. I seriously don't know why sensors are so expensive. It's like such a small part. But yeah, I'm going to fix that. So add that onto the tally. And let me do the math and we'll find out what we got here. Alright guys, so I did the calculations, and while I was doing that, I remembered that the $800 I bought the car with was actually with the $1,500 that I spent in total. So we can go ahead and subtract that. But when you also add on the sensor, that means that we have paid $3,000. It's been rough. Honestly, I'm not too, mad about how much I spent. I think it was still a decent amount. And I've seen some of these cars go for around that if they're really clean. And mine's not really clean, but I'm just going to say I didn't do too bad. Now, not to say I'm going to flip this car. This is my car. It's mine now. So, I am not going to be flipping this car. But as you guys know, in the future, I'm definitely going to be doing some flipping. So yeah, this is a very big lesson to me. Don't be an idiot. I mean, when I bought this car, I literally did not care. I just wanted a car. And so I went on Facebook Marketplace, and I found the first listing I could. That was literally it. I went and looked at the car. I tried looking around, but I just couldn't focus. I couldn't sit still. And, I was too excited about the car that I didn't even look at anything. Literally anything. And so, yeah, it was a big mistake for me. But that is our grand total in the end. And of course, we still have struts. CV axles. There's going to be a lot more.